Good afternoon, and welcome to the Glendale Housing Authority meeting called to order at 3:05 on July 7th. May we have roll call order, please?
Authority member Agajanian,
Present.
Brotman,
Here.
Kasakian,
Here.
Najarian,
Here.
Parazian,
Here.
Chair Devine.
Here. For everyone's information, due to the evolving situation with the COVID-19 novel coronavirus and health recommendations from the LA County Health Department, the Glendale Housing Authority meeting will be available to the public electronically. Due to social distancing requirements, the public will not be able to attend the meeting. The public is encouraged to watch and participate from the safety of your homes to practice social distancing. The meeting can be viewed on local cable, Charter Cable Channel 6, and AT&T UVerse Channel 99. Streaming online, go to www.glendalega.gov/government/public meeting portal. For public comments and questions during the meeting, please call 818-937-8100. City staff will be submitting these questions and comments in real time to the appropriate person during the Glendale Housing Authority meeting. Thank you for listening. Next item, please.
The agenda for the July 7th, 2020 regular meeting of the Glendale Housing Authority was posted on Tuesday, June 30th, 2020 on the bulletin board outside City Hall.
Thank you. And the next item?
Next item would be 4A, approval of minutes of the regular Housing Authority meeting of June 16, 2020.
Okay, do I have a motion? Is there a second?
Second.
Hearing no objections, the minutes stand approved as submitted. What's next, please?
Next would be oral communications. There are no calls at this time.
No calls. Next item.
Authority member and staff comments.
Okay, I'd like to, before I call on my my colleagues, Phil, Mr. Lanzafane or Mr. Zovak, if you are online or there at the meeting, I have a question concerning the rent relief program. That was, the applications began, I think, about a week and a half ago, or maybe a week ago tomorrow. How are we doing on those?
We have about 3,000 applications in. Rough numbers, we get it updated every day. I haven't received a report yet. And also about 500 applications for the business grant. I know there's a housing meeting. Right now, remember, we did open July 2nd, I think it was, 1st or 2nd. And we will close this first round on July 15th at noon. We will go through and have a lottery, and then we will come back and have a second round. Remember, everybody that is not selected, that applied and is not selected in the first round, will automatically be entered into the second round.
Okay, thank you so much. So it's going well. 3,000 applications already. Okay, I would like to take a second to mention that in the May edition of the Apartment Owners Association of Greater Los Angeles magazine, the board president, Earl Vaughn, did an op-ed about his opinion of City of LA Section 8 programs, and trying to get more information out to the LA landlords who are interested in Section 8. And in his article, he mentioned that there are some good housing authorities out there, and Glendale was mentioned first, followed by Long Beach and Santa Monica. And I just want to read you a little excerpt because I think it's just, I'm so proud, and I know my colleagues are as well. He talked about rental property owners and property management firms that he's spoken to, and he says that they have, for the most part, had good experiences in the Section 8 program when dealing with housing departments in Glendale. This city offers faster occupancy, bonus payments, and hands-on and prompt customer service that assists with the contract process and tenant issue solving. I mention this. He also goes on to say that owners of these properties have had a good experience dealing with housing department administrations by and large, but they say, and this is what's so important, I think, to landlords, they get decent tenants that appreciate having a roof over their heads, and they feel great satisfaction for helping a needy family or individual. And I mention this for two reasons. I want to congratulate our housing team. Kudos to you. I think we all know what a great job you do, but it's always nice to hear it from outside of Glendale. And secondly, if there are any landlords out there watching today, I encourage you to consider getting involved in our Section 8 program, because you'll be working with the best, the very best. So congratulations. Thank you to my colleagues for letting me go first, but now I will call on them. Would anyone like to add to my comments or have any other comments?
No.
Hearing none. What's the next item, please?
Chair Devine, we do have two callers, late callers
Oh.
that called in. You'd like me to
Okay.
take them?
Please. Take the first one.
Caller, you're live. Monica, you're live.
Thank you so much. Hello, council members of Paula Devine. So nice to see you on the video. Thank you for
Hi,
taking
Monica.
my call. This is Monica Campagna. I'm a Glendale resident and member of the Glendale Environmental Coalition. And I'm just calling in today with a little bit of input for today's discussion as you're considering new building requirements for downtown. And I'd like to just offer, if I could, just 2 points of consideration, and then I have my colleague, Elise Kaufman, who will also
Monica?
be calling. Yes, sir.
I believe that item is coming up in the special council meeting, not during housing.
Oh, okay, thank you. So I should call back then.
Yeah, that'd be perfect. Thank you.
You got it. Thank you. Sorry about that. Okay.
That's okay. That's okay. Next caller, please.
Next caller is Justin Adams. Justin?
Yes, good afternoon, council members.
Justin?
Justin?
I think
I'm
you
here.
just
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hello?
He did.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Oh, yes. So-
Justin?
Oh, yes. Hi, this is Justin here.
Okay, Justin, you're here with, you may
Thank you
go
for
ahead.
taking, thank you very much for taking my call, council members. I fear that maybe, my point is in relation to the housing board interaction with the rental and property management companies here in the city of Glendale in relation to COVID mandates, spacing mandates, and mask mandates and things. I'm not sure. Is that also something that would need to be taken up in this special meeting?
You're talking about our outreach to landlords and apartment dwellers, renters, et cetera?
Correct.
Yes. I'm certain that we're doing that, but I would ask for our city manager, Yasmin Beers, to respond to Mr. Adams' question.
Okay. Well, my question is basically the point that we're at now. The property management in my building says that since Glendale PD is not providing any enforcement, basically the mask and social distancing mandates are nothing more than a suggestion. So if the Glendale PD is not doing any enforcement, would this body be doing enforcement? And what are future expectations as far as that? Because as the way that the rules are being enforced now, I can't leave my apartment and go to my car without being exposed by people who refuse to wear a mask and maintain social distance.
Well, Justin, I can say that I know that other cities have begun fining those that are not wearing face coverings. This is a topic that can be taken up at council. We can even raise the question tonight. If we want to begin giving violations to those that the police department finds not wearing face coverings. I know that our police department is working very hard to encourage everyone to wear a face mask, face covering. I believe they have them in their cars to give out to the public. But you raised a good question. Is it time for us to step up the enforcement? And I think that's something that council, all five of us, can talk about tonight or in the very near future.
Yeah,
Do I
thank
have, Mrs. Beers, would you like to add anything to that, or any of my fellow council members?
For Chair Devine, members of the Housing Authority, we receive a lot of feedback related to businesses, individuals walking on streets, et cetera, that may not be complying with the face covering ordinances and orders that we have in place at this time. We have a two-pronged approach, depending on the time that we are following up on some of the complaints that are driven by the public. And so during the week, we do follow up by way of our Neighborhood Services Department and our code enforcement officers who will go out and provide education and information related to the orders that are in place. And there are times where the police department is contacted during the week if assistance is needed and or if it is after hours, and on weekends the police department does respond when necessary in terms of following up on certain infractions that are occurring. We just this week have talked with our community development department and have set aside two of our employees who will be dealing with face coverings and the mandates that are in place, and only focus on complaints that we have received in terms of following up again with businesses, property management companies, et cetera. And so that is something that as of this week we have two individuals who will be following up, providing information. If we have to go back a second and or a third time, administrative citations will happen. We have made that determination that administrative citations are in order if necessary, and we will follow up with that as well. There are a number of considerations before having to call the police department for the enforcement piece of it in terms of what may occur at that moment, and that is a conversation for a later time, as Ms. Devine indicated earlier. But we're seriously looking at all of these issues and following up as necessary. If the caller would like to stay on the line and leave information with us, we would be more than happy to follow up with him and follow up in the areas that he has seen the issues at hand.
And if you would, Ms. Beers, give us that number of who residents can call to report, let's say, multifamily developments that where they find that people are not wearing face coverings, like Justin is finding in his. Can you give us that number?
It is, and kind Mr. Lanzafame provided that to me. 1 second, please. It is 818-548-3700. 548-3700.
Okay, so Mr. Adams, you can stay on the line, or you can make your phone call after you hang up. I hope we've helped you with your problem. Okay, thank you.
Can I just say thank you very much? And I wasn't aware that we were doing that at all, and I find that very encouraging. And sometimes I think even just the notice in a public building is enough to have people change their behavior from subtle little notices.
Okay, good idea. I don't know. Do we do that, Ms. Beers? Do we put? Do we have signs that go into our multifamily dwellings?
We have provided information to our property management contacts. We've emailed them, provided them with information. Some have been in communication with us more than others, but we have provided that information to all of the contacts that we do have.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, are there any other calls?
Well, if there are no other calls, I wanted to make a comment.
No other callers.
Okay, Mr. Brotman?
Oh, yeah, I was actually going to bring this question up tonight, and I'm not sure, are we able to discuss this? Because it hasn't been noticed, but I did want to follow up on the conversation we had last week, because this came up last week, and we said we were going to look at, what else can we do as far as, code enforcement and penalties and that kind of thing. And I did, we're all getting the same emails, I'm sure, but somebody sent out one which had an article from LA Magazine, which referred to this InfoGears survey, which is this crowdsourced thing you can get on, and you can put in your zip code and you say, what your experiences are. And apparently, this article says that Glendale has, of all the neighborhoods surveyed, the 91208 zip code is the worst. That's where I live. And I don't know, it doesn't feel it, but that's what it's saying. And it says something like 40-some% of people report, 48 report not always, not consistently wearing a mask. So it's a little bit unfair because I went on and did it myself, and it says, do you always wear a mask? Well, I put in sometimes, because if I go out walking, as we do, like up in the hills, I'm not going to wear a mask if nobody's around. So I put in sometimes. So it doesn't really ask it very precisely. But anyway, it's not nice that it's that we're getting these kinds of numbers, and it's really not about the numbers, it's about the actual situation. And I think it isn't funny, and we do see a lot of people wearing it below their nose, not wearing a mask at all, et cetera, et cetera. So I would like, and I don't know how we can do it, I would like to try to see if we can have a conversation about what we can actually do practically to try to improve
We
things.
wouldn't be able to have a conversation about it today because it's not on the agenda. Obviously, during council comments, if council wants to express some concerns in a brief format, we can, but we cannot have a discussion or have direction given to staff. Obviously, as Ms. Beers noted, we're kind of monitoring the situation closely, and we anticipate, if further action is needed administratively by the Director of Emergency Services, then she'll be able to take that action, and we'll obviously keep the council in the loop on that if it comes to that, if we need more enforcement, for example. I would note that we already have in our orders the authority to issue admin sites, as Yasmin noted. And I think that the fact that the Santa Monica discussion and then West Hollywood discussion, I don't think they had those provisions before. That's what's made the news. So we're continuing to monitor. We cannot have a discussion about it today or at tonight's meeting, but if council has comments during council comments, we will take those under advisement.
And the face covering item will be before the council on the 21st of July, along with the other orders, based on the orders expiring at the end of the month. And so we will have that discussion on the 21st of July.
Madam Chair?
Okay. Well, I think, thank you all. I
Madam
think
Chair, I have
it's,
a comment
yeah.
also.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Najarian.
I was, just to go off the back of that, but not to discuss that, I was unaware of that zip code, I guess, survey. But let me tell you, it's no surprise to me. 2.5 months ago, when I raised the issue of the COVID virus being spread by aerosol, I was absolutely skewered by those members who live in that 91208 zip code on the Nextdoor Hater website. And if you want to question what happened, it's still online. I mean, it was like, well, where's your peer-reviewed survey that you would assume that aerosol transmission is a realistic thing? We're not going to wear you masks. You're trying to control us and all that. So I don't know about the other neighborhoods, but the neighborhood that I was involved in, and I think I'm not sure if I was mayor at that time, maybe just going out, there's a lot of disbelief and folks, I don't want to say ignorance, but a lot of resistance to the concept that we put forth with a few studies as the early studies came in for mask safety. I mean, I was shocked at some of the responses I got from otherwise well-educated members of our community. But so I guess that survey result from 91208 doesn't surprise me in light of the experience I had by trying to put out some warnings and taking action as council to enforce the mask and the reasons for the mask face covering ordinance. But anyway, it's
Yeah.
unusual times that we're all living.
Okay, any other comments? I just want to wrap this up by saying that even with this surge that's going on right now, I think we're all getting emails, a lot of emails from people saying, why are we making this mandatory? It should be optional, and I'm shocked by those. However, everyone's entitled to their opinion. So we'll leave that to council to discuss in the future. And with that, I'll ask, what's the next item?
Adjournment.
Do I have a motion?
May I move?
Second.
Second.
And we are adjourned at 3:26. Thank you very much.